Hi Virgo, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your January 2024 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, the Celtic cross spread as always, and also pulled a 4 agreements and wisdom of the oracle card for you guys. But we're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus should be as far as that goes. Alright, so we have 4 and 4th house energy for you guys as Sagittarius. So of course there's plenty of energy going on there. At the time of recording this, we're still in Sagittarius season. Venus will be in Sagittarius for a pretty good chunk of December, and then Mars will be wrapping up its transit through there and moving into Capricorn pretty early on in January as well. But yeah, definitely at least between now and into January, there's going to be plenty of energy going on there. Oh, and I forgot if I mentioned it, but 4th house energy points to home and family. And also there's the fact that Mercury retrograde is going to be traveling out of Capricorn back into Sagittarius as well. So, like I said, plenty of energy going on in that area of life for you guys. Okay, we have Libra. And Libra is 2nd house energy for you guys, and that points to possession, self-worth, and finances. We have the South Node there, so there could be some things being released around that area of life too, and some things coming back around from the past. And we have Saturn. So Saturn is actually in your opposite sign of partnerships, contracts, and relationships, and it's going to be there pretty much for all of 2024. So it definitely makes sense to see that theme come up too. But we'll start with the main spread now. Alright, in the main situation position, we have the Chariot, and challenging that, we have the Page of Cups. So, interesting, both water energies here. We have the Cancer energy, and then seeing this, to me, it feels like this is saying that you're being nudged in some way to move forward on something, but the challenge is you might feel like you're not ready yet, right? So, maybe it's presenting something, maybe it's trying to partner up with someone in some way, right? Not necessarily romantically, it could be business, friendship, you name it, but let's say for whatever reason you're not quite ready to put it out there. You might feel like you need a little bit more time to prepare for the situation. Okay, in the foundation position, we have the 5 of Wands. So, Leo energy here. Now, for some of you, this could even just be saying that these are all the energies within your mind, right? Where you're like, okay, I could go this way with it. I could do this thing. I could do that thing, right? So you might feel like that's why you want to put off actually putting it out there, right? Because you still feel like, okay, there's so many different ways I could take this thing. So but until I feel like I'm more settled on that, I don't necessarily feel comfortable putting it out there, right? So, because if we look at these 5 people, it clearly looks like they're not all working toward the same goal, right? So it feels like you might just feel like things are too unaligned, too scattered right now to where you don't feel comfortable putting it out just yet. And for some of you, because this is Leo energy, which is your 12th house, I thought of this as me being primarily internal thoughts, but of course this could be a group of people you're dealing with as well, where you might feel like, okay, as a group, we're not ready to put this thing out there. Okay, past energy, we have the Knight of Pentacles. So this is actually the court card for your sign. So it could just be saying in the past you might have been feeling a lot more stable, a lot more sure of yourself, right? Now, of course, this is the slowest moving of the Knights too, right? So it could just be saying that, you know, you might have thought that you could stay at that pace for a while. Now with the Chariot, you might feel like that pace is being sped up. So you might have just been like, okay, well, at this pace, I could totally get this done in the time I want to. But now if the pace is suddenly picking up, right, that could be where you feel a little bit more scattered. In the present position, we have the Page of Pentacles. So yeah, this is just a slight step down from the Knight of Pentacles energy, and we even see the Pentacle looks like it's just out of his reach, right? So again, like I said, in the past, it looks like you were feeling a lot more comfortable with the pace, right? You were in your zone. Now it feels like things are moving a little bit more quickly than you would like, and that has you feeling like you're a little bit unprepared. All right. In the near future position, we have the 4 of Pentacles. So Capricorn energy here, and of course we'll be in that energy toward specifically the last 10 degrees of Capricorn. We'll be in that energy right around the middle of January, so you might be feeling that energy once we get there. But yeah, this could definitely represent buckling down, right, and really holding on tightly to what you already have. So, for example, let's say this is a project you've been working on, and now you might feel like you're pouring money into it, right? And you're starting to think, maybe reconsider, like, okay, initially I thought this was going to be really smooth sailing. Right now it feels like, okay, the longer this project goes on, the more energy I'm having to pour into it, the more resources I'm having to pour into it, right? So you could even just be putting the brakes on it for a second and thinking to yourself, okay, do I really want to continue down this path, or should I be, considering alternatives? But that's what I see with that. Okay, in the position of your influence on a situation, we have the Queen of Wands. So this is Aries energy. Now this is a pretty action-oriented energy. It's always an interesting mix, right? Because a lot of feminine energies point more to being in a receptive mode, whereas Aries energy as a whole is a lot more action-oriented, right? So we even see, I feel like the wand in that regard represents the more action-oriented energy, whereas the flower could represent more the receptive energy. So you could be trying to balance those two things out, right? And I will say, and to a lesser extent, this could also just be saying that you might be very fixated on wanting to do things your way, right? So, like I said, all of a sudden, if a deadline shifts to something like that, and you had this whole thing planned out from start to finish, and now the deadline shifting, you could be putting up a little bit of resistance to that. Okay, in the environment position, we have the High Priestess. So to me, this is saying that you're probably going to be called to tap into your intuition this month. There will be a full moon in Leo toward the end of January, which is your 12th house. That's definitely a very intuitive energy type of energy. Well, yeah, energy, right? But it's a very intuitive type of area of the zodiac. So timeline wise, that might be where you really feel like you are able to tap into the energy the best. But for some of you, that could just be a theme that you're more focused on throughout the month. All right. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Nine of Cups. So this is Pisces energy here. And it's good to be saying, of course, that you're hoping that the work you have put into this point, right, will stand firm and it'll actually bring you the success that you're hoping for. So again, like I said, especially seeing this 9 cups here, right, seeing the Page of Cups energy, I feel like you're already pretty close to where you need to be, right? So I don't think it's going to be a huge departure as far as this Chariot energy, like, scrap the whole thing. I feel like this is just more of saying it's moving along a little bit more quickly than you'd like, right? So, for example, the Nine of Cups energy could point to an energy of contentment. So, like I said, let's say if this is the pace you've been moving at, right? So the ultimate goal, let's say, is 10 of Cups, and you're at 9 of Cups, and maybe it's taking you a long time to get there, but you've been content with that pace, right? But now, for whatever reason, external factors in your environment could actually be pushing you forward a little bit to go get that 10th cup, where you're like, okay, you know what, I'm feeling pretty good here right now. I don't want to feel pushed into that direction. So could just be one of those things. All right, and in the outcome position, we have the Nine of Swords. So yeah, Gemini energy here, and to me this says that you will still feel like you're overthinking the situation, right? Again, like I said, I feel like there's almost just too much going on in your mind. Now, I will say the good thing as far as that goes is, yes, we have Mercury retrograde right now. When we get officially into January, around maybe the third day or so of January, it's going to actually start direct motion again, and then it'll clear its shadow a couple weeks after that. So that's one energy that's going to start to feel lighter as we move through January. And then also, Jupiter has been retrograde for about the past 6 months in your ninth house, and it's actually going to start direct motion right at the very end of December, and it's going to be direct throughout that transit. So all of January it'll be direct, so on and so forth. So those could be two energies that'll really help lighten things up for you guys, and then maybe just clearing out that fog with the full moon in your 12th house toward the end of January might be the last thing if you still need more clearing out. So for a lot of you, this seems like it will improve as we progress through January. But yeah, in a moment, I'm sure it's not going to feel too good. All right, and bottom of the deck, we have the Ten of Wands. So this is Sagittarius energy here. And yeah, to me, this says that you've probably worked on this thing for quite some time. So like I said, it just seems like you might have had a timeline in mind for when you would wrap the thing up. And now maybe circumstances have changed to where you have to do it a little bit quicker, right? All right, so let's just use a practical example for how this could work out, right? Since this is fourth house energy here, and we also saw that come up in your dice, and like we said, we have a ton of energy in your fourth house. Let's say you were doing renovations on your home, right? And you're like, okay, this month I'm going to buy this thing, next month I'll buy that thing, so on and so forth. You had a whole thing mapped out that worked with your budget, right? Like, okay, I can't buy everything all at once, but I'll just pace myself as we go along. And then let's say one of your appliances dies on you, right? Like, okay, well, that sucks. Wasn't planning on buying that till March, right? And now here we are mid-December and it's dead, right? So, okay, now I have to buy that thing, right? So it could just be something as simple as that, to where you're like, okay, I was planning on replacing these things anyway, but now this thing conked out on me before I was ready for that, before I had budgeted for it, right? So now I gotta scramble to take care of that. So it could just be one of those things. Hopefully that resonated. All right, moving on to your 4 agreements card. We have be impeccable with your word. And there we go. And it says enjoy heaven on earth. Okay, impeccability of the word can lead you to personal freedom, success, and abundance. You can attain the kingdom of heaven from this one agreement. Be impeccable with your word. So, definitely an interesting message to come up there, right? Given that we said we are in a Mercury retrograde energy, will be until very early January. So, hopefully that message resonated with you guys in that regard. Okay, then moving on to the Wisdom of the Oracle card, we have Clean It Up. There's the artwork, and the number is 21. So, let's see what this has to say. Okay, essential meanings says getting to the core of a situation, freedom from a burden, cleaning house, sweeping away what is no longer needed. The Oracle's message. Ever feel so bogged down with emotional gunk that you can't think straight? Could you be surrounded by physical clutter in your home also? Too much work? Overwhelmed? Time to clean house. Every item out of place natters away at you. Every unresolved resentment, every comparison to others that leads to a sense of lack takes up energetic space. Every unpaid bill just adds up to an unnecessary feeling of being overwhelmed. Now is the time to free yourself by energetically cleaning house. Just do it. Make room for the miracles that are lining up for you. So yeah, definitely a positive message there, right? And that seems to align with what we were saying as far as, you might be close to where you need to be, but you might feel all of a sudden like you're being nudged to complete things a little bit faster than you hoped. But hopefully that resonates with you guys. The relationship message says time to clear the air, take a look at your side of the street, and say what's on your mind. Sweep away the old stuff so that a spring breeze can flow through with new energy. It's the perfect time to do an inventory of your dynamics and see what's yours and what's not yours, to clean up the relationship. Everyone brings some baggage. Sort through what you brought with you and let go of what is no longer needed. Become unencumbered and your relationship will flourish. So, definitely a positive message there. I will say this seems like a lot more of an internal solo journey this month, but for those of you looking for some relationship guidance, hopefully that resonated. The prosperity message says simple things like opening your mail, paying bills, sorting out your timetable, making lists, and getting organized is what this symbol means when it comes to your work. Make time for yourself too. This card is a sign you may be overburdened and overwhelmed. It's okay to say no. You'll prosper even more if you do. So yeah, definitely a positive message there, especially for you guys, right? Being Virgos, you are known to overwork yourselves from time to time and feel like a really strong sense of duty. So hopefully that resonates with you guys as well. We'll wrap up there. Hope you guys are having a good holiday season and have a good new year, and I will see you all next month. All right, bye.